Hope you all are doing really well. So this is the new video on managerial round interview questions. So HBR study shows that employee who care about these questions and prepare about this question way before and likely do well in the long run. And this is the ultimate stress test questions from Amazon to Google. Every company look for this thing in a job interviews. And we are talking about the cultural fit questions. People are asking questions which is based on the cultural living on their organizations. So yes, the pro tip is don't try to force into that fit and look for companies that genuinely align with your values. So let's quickly go ahead with these questions. Okay, give an example of a time when you had to make a difficult decision at work. So before starting with this one, the 77% of organization in US or in India based on cultural fit. So for example, Amazon also using hierarchy practice called loop and a bar raiser rounds to evaluate the candidates to fit the company's 14 leading principles. But these are the questions, these are all questions which are based on those things. So now the first question is, give an example of a time when you had to make a difficult decisions at work. So there must be different kind of work, or maybe decision at work in terms of your work. Also, you sometimes make a difficult decisions, or sometimes you make a difficult decisions. In your team you have to deal with someone, and then you make a difficult decision at that time. So you have to give an example in such a way that you show your qualities in front of other person, and then the other person's, you shouldn't be showing the bad pictures of other people in your team. So you have to give them examples when you had to make a difficult decisions at work. So you can also give an example. There was a certain release wherein I have to come on Saturday for 2 weeks, and though I have, like, being a woman, we have a planned activities in a home. We have to have a lot of many responsibilities at home, and to manage the weekend and the weekday and the weekend with the working day, it's become challenging. And then I have to make a difficult decisions wherein I have to my personal commitments, I have to keep it for the later week, and then I was compensating that at maybe in the later week, and then I was there for the delivery, and that was really difficult for me to manage all the work, like all my personals and professional commitments at the same time, especially on weekends. But yes, that's when I prioritize my professional work, because it's only for the 2 weeks, and it's not that much on me. And then I think I took my partner helps to meet my personal commitments, and then I was able to deliver my professional commitments. Like that you can give the examples, and same as the people can give it, like there were a lot of there was some ceremony in my home, and then there was a difficult decisions to manage everything, and then somehow we manage it like that. Okay, talk about a time when you had to lead a team to achieve a goal. There were certain times when you have to lead it. So people just lead it. At times people will give many people get the opportunity to lead the team, and then how you gonna lead the team? Then first you have to speak, listen, and and process it, like speak, listen. There are a lot of things you can do it, and speak, listen, and seek. Okay, so that is what you can do it. And then achieve leader team means that you have to see the weakness and the strength of everyone, and you have to use the strength of everyone, and then prioritize the work in such a way that that this person can do the job really well. Like for example, if you will be a developer, so the senior developer can do a difficult task, and the junior in difficult tasks in less time, and the UI issues can be fixed by a junior developer. So if you are giving these tasks to senior developers, that means they are not using their strength, so they can fix the higher bug or high priority bug at the less time, instead of keeping the same time in UI issues and the minor bugs. So those are the things you can prioritize, and you can use the strength of everyone's team, and then you can lead the team. And then even the weakest person in the team, you have to take that person also in the race. And I think that's when you achieve the desired goal, because you cannot, you cannot do the things alone. You have to concentrate every team member, and you have to utilize every team member's capabilities. And I think that's when you're gonna achieve the desired goal. Now, let's move to the next question. So, describe a time when you had to balance multiple priorities and how you did it. So, in life, also, you have a multiple priorities in your life, and somehow you manage everything and do it. So, and you just maintain a timetable and balance the time. I think that's when then you can meet your priorities. And I think you can give your real life examples when you had to balance a multiple priorities and how you did it. So when in 2020, I have a priority of a learning session that I'm planning to learn DevOps sessions, DevOps or DevOps basic uh, tutorial. There was a training going on. I have to join that training, and the same time we have a deliveries, and I have automation scripts to deliver. So somehow I manage my time, I stretch my hours, and that's when I can able to manage my all the priorities, because the training is for the shorter period of time. And that's my interest to learn that technology or a technical stack. So that will definitely add a value on my career. So that's the reason, for a shorter period of time, I've stretched my hours and keep a balance of my priorities. And yeah, that's how you can do it. And you make a schedule of everything and how we gonna achieve everything, or how to balance out all the priorities. You can also make the high priority and low priority graph. And you are alone cannot do it, right? In your work front also, when you're not able to, like, when you have a multiple priorities, you sit with your team lead and decide the higher and the lower priority of a work, and decide among the team that which one can take, if we are doing it with the team. So that's how we can do it. And I think there are multiple ways you can deal this, and in personal level, all in the team level. So you have to ask this question. So in a team, we have a multiple priorities, and how we're gonna achieve that, or a personal level. So personal level, I think you can say that training example. And then now we have describe about a situation where you had to work outside of your comfort zone. So current situation of mine, it's outside of my comfort zone. So I can relate it to you, because I'm a Selenium resource, and I've got a UFT tool. And I'm in a very comforting project wherein I'll be doing REST API in the Selenium. Now I've been assigned with another project which is completely of UFT, and the code base is very old, which is 2015 and 2016. And this is a real-time example, guys. I'm just facing this out, and the code is already written that I have to do it in this, and they are using a different altogether old tools, which is test management tool, and everything is like very now people are using Azure DevOps most of the time. In my current project, everything is like latest Azure DevOps BDD framework and the rest assured framework, and we're doing really great in my comfort zone. And I know everything, whatever assigned it to me, I will able to deliver out on time or before time. That is my comfort zone. But now what is not my comfort zone is like UFT, ALM and everything, and the code base is like 2015 or 2016 ka code. So, and that is completely I shouldn't be saying this, but that is, I think there are a lot of script, there are thousands of script or maybe plus, and a lot of data were hard coded. And I think I'm just seeing, I've just gone through the KD, but back of the mind I can understand myself that okay, if I'll be learning UFT, that will definitely add additional value on my resume. And also I will be learning more of the coding, and there I can showcase, because here I'll be working with a lot of people here in the testing team, so I cannot be able to spread my wings. So I think because a lot of people are there and there are a lot of decisions making wherein I'm not a lead, and that project I can lead it, and I think there I can show that I have the leading capability also. So that is an opportunity. I'm just seeing it whatever it will be, but I think I'll be learning that tool, and maybe I'll dissolve myself into that thing, and maybe I'll do this learning of my latest technology. I can implement those into that latest technology in that old project also, and not my comfort zone. I'll make it comforting for myself, and gonna learn as much as I can, because that is a different tool, and I will get an opportunity to work on that tool and learn that tool as well. And yeah, I think I'll be like now the complete automation resource wherein I'll know most of the tools then. So I think that is something which you can describe, and in terms of your positivity and your belief, you can show it to the interviewer, and I think that is what they are looking for. Talk about a time when you had to navigate a challenging situation with a client or a customer. Challenging situation. So yes, you have to tell us, like we also have a PO here that comes in the client or customer to us. So sometimes we say that this is a challenge. So sometimes we are not able to adapt the test cases, like the automation test cases, because of the continuous delivery and limit as a limiting resources. We can only adapt one or two functionality in the sprint. We cannot adapt 4 or 5 in the automation scripts. We cannot adapt all the functionality at one go, and the stable test cases. Even if we adapt those things, we will not be able to achieve the stable test cases, because we, as a new functionality, does have the performance issues, and we are adapting 50% or 70%. I think in that way you are like we are reaching to that level, but sometimes we are little bit delay on it. I think we should be telling them in front of them, and in that way okay, we are adapting those, but yes, there were performance issues in the system, so we are not able to achieve the stable test cases. But I think maybe in the next or upcoming sprint we're gonna have the stable test cases ready for this for now. We'll be doing, I think, 70% of automation and 30% of the manual test cases, so that our work is completed. And we are doing extra work on doing manual testing along with the automation testing, and we are testing everything out there. I think that is something they are doing out from us. Now, so can you give an example of a time when you had to adapt to a new work environment? So you can say that when I moved from a small startup to a big company, I was accustomed to a rapid and responsive work environment, and that happens. However, the pace of the work was slower and more bureaucratic at MNCs. In order to adapt, I took time to understand companies' protocols and to build relationships with my colleagues. Additionally, I sought mentorship from seasoned team members. Even I did it, because when there were in my previous project, I moved internally. My previous project have a really different environment, wherein this is very aggressive environment where I'm currently working in. So there were 2 sprint delivery every time. So that time we don't have it. We'll just test the user. So we just have to do manual testing. But here we have to do manual testing. We have to do API testing. We have to do BDD. We have to do JMeter. Everything we have to do it, and it is very aggressive. They want the progressive results. Even we don't have the test data to test the APIs. I think that is something which is very challenging and to do and deliver. I think in the new work environment we need to understand. So I just connected with the seasoned member. We have a lead developer, and he is very easygoing person. So to understand what is the business needs and everything, even the PO is very helpful, but only need is the communication is the key, to communicate everyone and to build a relationship with everyone. I think these are the 2 keys when you move from any environment to any environment. So yeah. Okay, tell me about the time when you have to deal with ambiguity. This is a very important question. I have seen a lot of video in the YouTube. I think 8 minutes or 9 minutes. I think that is not, shouldn't be having this much big videos. And because you will be seeing that there will be a you're making up. So the product manager, or maybe like even PO will always face, or as a testers will always face an ambiguity between the team members also. So I think there were a lot of ambiguity in designing the test cases or test planning. We really need to take time to understand every person's inputs, or analyze everything, like how other organizations are doing, because we have like smoke test cases, regression test cases, and to adapt all the test cases in one go, I think that's become challenging, because people are saying different things, that we can do that way, we can do this thing. We don't have the stable test cases, and people want the report to be published to all the stakeholders, which is I was not agree on it, because you are showing your work, because it's an every single day if the report is published to the users or the stakeholders, it's like they're keeping eye on your work. There's no layer, and sometimes there was a thing that they don't understand that the newly the functionality has been changed completely. So we will take our time to adapt all the new test cases. So I think that's when people want that report to be there. But yes, I think we did the analysis how the organizations work, what are the impact of this thing, what are the impact of my thing, and then what we have done, and we just, because the unstable test cases will not give you the appropriate results. So that's when what we did it, we used some tags to avoid the unstable test cases, and then only the stable test cases we're gonna run it in the report. So that's when we can and we're gonna work on more on improving on broken test cases. And I think within a week or within a 2 week we worked on those things. So I think that things help us out in fixing all the test cases, because we were in a worry of people have an eye on our work, so we gotta improve. We just move towards the improvements on the work, and every team member has done it, because sometimes we don't have an eye on the things, so people are not doing it. But that's when I think that's help us in a long run, that it's okay that we agreed on reports, and building the fix broken, like we'll be avoiding the unstable test cases, and then we started working on broken test ticket and unstable test cases, and we're gonna fix those test cases and move it into from unstable stage to stable state. So that's when the result comes out. And that's why I think that if you want to have more about this ambiguity, I will explain you. You can directly contact me, probably I'll give you the written thing on that. Yes. Can you describe a situation where you had to handle a stressful situation and how you did it? So I think, to be very honest, I usually face a very stressful situation because of my team members. I think they personally thinks that because this is my channel, so you guys are my friends, you guys are everything. So they always thinks that the women are less, I am somewhat less than them. But they will always think in that fashion, or maybe they're very competitive towards me. Don't know why, because I'm very friendly, or very, I'm very social person, as a in terms of the person I am in. So I'm very social person, and I like to talk people a lot, and I really like to talk, and I don't know, they just don't feel very competitive, and they don't have the friendly relationship with me. But that's when they started doing something which is very stressful for me in terms of work, because they're not involving me in many of the meetings, and that's became very stressful because I miss out most of the information. And there was one person who was doing a lot of work, which is he left over, which is incomplete work. There are a lot of incomplete work he left over, and he didn't hand over it to me, because I am the person who's supposed to take the leftover work, because his job is to take out most of the work for the team, but he has to hand over also to the other team member. But somehow he's not handovering the work to us, and then I only do the analysis and figure it out. Okay, this is the work which is left over. So if I know it, I make a plan on it, right? If I have a like if I know these all, I have a 10 works in my plate, I can prioritize and do it, instead of me finding out which is the work and what is the work, and at one shot I will not get all the work. So I think that is something. This is very stressful. This is very stressful situation. So I think I took help from my senior members of the team, and they helped me out to guide us, like where and all you can find all the work, leftover work, and you can pick up and you can prioritize all the work over there. And yeah, this is the one thing. And the second thing, even the 2 weeks ago, I had to make a decision quickly on an associate who has been struggling with the performance issues. There was one person in my team. So after reviewing his file and determined he did not receive he does not know more of the Cucumber JMeter tool, and he's having some performance issue. He doesn't discuss it with any of the people in the team, and then the reports are very bad at that time. And rather than leaving him alone, because I have my own commitments, I have my own assigned work to do it. So rather than leave him in the situation, because he has the assigned work, he would have I think he was doing the work since from 4 weeks. There were 2 sprints over, and then he didn't say it to anyone, and because there was a loss of his job otherwise. So I just took time to give him some training. So so that he can improve on the performance testing. And then I've checked with the PO that can, like, because he is not, can we assign some training on him and help him out, because that becomes very stressful at times, because you have your own commitments and you'll be helping out with the other people also. In doing you will be taking 50% of the other person work also at that time, and dealing with all the managements that why you're doing this 50% more of his work and why you're helping it out, you have why he's not doing his thing, and there are a lot of things, management things you have to deal with. So that becomes very stressful, and then you have to deal with everything, because as a lead or as a a senior person in a team, you have to help the weak people also in the team, because the person has other strengths also, which we can utilize in our work statement. So I think that's all, guys. I think, thank you so much. I have put in some of the example, and maybe sometimes I will be very fast, I agree to it. And if you need some more questions, some more answers on that thing, you can comment down that for this question, can you give us the answer again, can you write down the answer for us. I'll love to do that in the comment section. So yes, guys, thank you so much.